Hi everybody, Russell Markham here from VectorVest, and this week we're going to talk about agricultural stocks. So some select agricultural stocks are on the move due to certain prices in wheat and live cattle stock prices, for example. But before we do so, let's get into it. Please note our disclaimer here. There are licenses. If you want to find out more, you can hop along to our webpage there, www.vectorvest.com.au, to check out our financial services guide. In addition, next slide here, any advice is general advice only and does not consider your personal objectives, financial situations or needs. You should consider whether the advice is suitable for you and your personal circumstances. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Forecasts and bank tests used or discussed in this presentation are intended as a guide only, and actual results may be affected by known or unknown risks and uncertainties and therefore may differ materially from the results ultimately achieved. Okay, with that said, let's jump into it and let's bring up Australia. So this week in your overview watch lists, so if you hop along to your viewers tab there, so you're greeted by your viewers tab and you click on watch list viewer, and then you'll need to go to overview watch lists. And once you're there, you'll find agricultural stocks. So you can see over here, we've populated this here with 28 in total. So if I right click and auto fit all columns, I've put in RT times CI, for example. You don't have to have that in there. I'm just looking for some of the quickest moving ones in the list, but you can see a total of 28. Now, which are the ones that are on the move? And it was just simply a matter of going through each and every one of those stocks and looking for the best left to right price profiles taking place along with the best earning profiles taking place. So you can see over the years there's been some very interesting undertakings in the agricultural stocks. And if I come down to the bottom here and view the watch list average graph, you see in recent times here, you can see definitely there's been a bit of a turnaround. This is the average of all those stocks, and the price is sort of coming up and it's sort of bobbing sideways a bit. This is all the stocks combined, right? But if you pull this back over a long period of time, over 15 odd years here, you can see that there was a massive fall off in the prices here, and then it slowly sort of recovered and sort of come back down again. There were several companies in there that were high-flying companies that have resulted in significantly lower prices than what they are today. And one that comes to mind here is Elders. All right, so if I grab this one here, click graph selected, this company here was a high flyer several years ago, and that accounts for part of the story for the drop off. Okay, so in your weekly essay there this week, I've noted several of the stocks that have come off. But it's not to say that the agricultural sector is not a good performer. You've just got to, pardon the pun, but separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. And let's bring this up here. So there's a very interesting website that I came across, and let's bring it up here. So this one here, it's a government published website here, and you can see over here selected indices, so selected world indicator for prices, for given prices on certain commodities here in agriculture. But if I look here, selected Australian grain export prices, milling wheat from Adelaide, Port Adelaide, they're up 55%, for example. So there we are, there's that 55% I'm referring to. Let's just show you what I'm referring to here, annual change. All right, so over the last 12 months, so this is what this all means here. So you can see wheat, US number 2, hard red, winter wheat, FOB, freight on board to the Gulf, it looks like, up 97%. All right, so you get the idea. We've put that link there in your weekly essay as well. But the one I want to concentrate on here is the selected Australian exports here. So Australian grain exports, for example, milling wheat up there 55%. Here's another one here, feed wheat up 48, 43 for barley, Port Adelaide, South Australia. Look at this one here, canola, Western Australia, 66%. Wow. Here was another one up 3%, that grain. All right, then you drill down a bit further, selected domestic livestock, beef, Eastern Young Cattle Indicator up 29%. All right, one or two here that have slipped slightly, but you get the idea. Look at this one here, 97%. Live cattle, light steers ex-Darwin to Indonesia, almost doubled in price. Live sheep, to Middle East from Western Australia, up 42%. So you get the idea that these indicators, these commodity agricultural indicators here, are on the move big time. All right, not all of them, but a good majority of them. So it's just a matter of now drilling in and finding the top performers. So what I've done here, just to speed things up, so what I did effectively is I just went through all of the given stocks, pulled it back over a period of time, 2 to 3 odd years. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for an uplift in the price in combination with an uplift in the earnings. So GNC, GrainCorp, for example, is a very interesting one there. Keep going a bit further. It's got to jump out at you. All right, look at this. Ridley Corp. Look at that. Nice set of earnings. Up it comes. And anyhow, to speed things up, let's show you the copy that I made. So you can just, on your agricultural stocks, you can right click and make a copy. Once you've made a copy, you can effectively edit it. And I just edited it down to 3 agricultural stocks that really jumped out at me. All right. Now, again, please do speak to your financial advisor. I can't give you advice, but what I can certainly show you here is look at these 3 here. These are jumping out from an agricultural stock type perspective. Sure, there was a big sell down, during that sort of COVID time period where the world sort of panicked a bit. Supply constraints in terms of exporters were not able to export as much as what they had wished to export because of COVID. So that would have impacted on some of their earnings, and there was a concern about drop-off in demand and whatever have you. But look what's happening here. It's really starting to move now to the upside, some of these selected stocks. So there you go, agricultural stocks. Out of the 28 odd stocks, these were 3 that jumped out using the power of VectorVest. If I look at the earnings growth rate here, it's coming up nicely. Look at the sales are coming up nicely too. Interesting to see that the net profit margins are a very low margin here when you look at that margin of 4.75. But just like with like Woolworths and Coles, for example, it's not about necessarily having a massive margin. It would be nice to have a high net profit margin. It's also combined with the sales. That's a huge amount of sales in millions. $2,236 million worth of sales, of which for every $1 of sales, the margin is just shy of 5 cents in the dollar. So when you start to see those sales coming up and those margin holding steady, if not increasing, there's no surprises there to see those earnings tracking up nicely there. So there you go. Agricultural stocks, see what you think. Take a snapshot of that agricultural stocks, make a copy of it, refine it down further if you wish. See what you think. Do you like the look of these 3 stocks as they stack up in the agricultural industry / sector? Hope you got a lot out of it. Until next week, bye for now.